Hi everyone, this is Balazs from RacingBrick. Today we are taking a little break from the Technic reviews. I know, I still owe you a few of those as well, although at this point I'm not even sure exactly how many, because this video was recorded a few days in advance. If everything goes according to plan, while you are watching this, I'm either on my way to Slovenia or already there for the 2026 Buvis gathering. So this means a few days away from the usual content creation madness, and hopefully a lot of time spent discovering that beautiful landscape on 3 wheels. But before that, we have our usual monthly Rebrickable video, and today I brought you two alternate builds from one of the most respected creators of the platform, Firas Lego Cars. Here is his profile page, and even if the name doesn't immediately ring a bell, which would honestly surprise me, I'm pretty sure you have seen at least one of his creations somewhere. A few of his alternate builds were already featured on the channel last year, but now he has two newer ones that I found especially exciting. Both of them use the trusty old Porsche 911 set as the base, and it is honestly amazing how many different alternate builds he managed to create from this single set over the years. So let's start with the more recent one. This is the Renault 5 Turbo. And no, this is definitely not your grandma's old Renault. The Renault 5 Turbo was a mid-engine rear-wheel drive sports car from the 1980s, built during the glorious era when small hatchbacks could suddenly become completely unhinged performance machines. The scale is around 1:13, which is quite similar to the original Porsche set, and they actually look really cool side by side. This is also a great opportunity to see how the same inventory can be reused in a very different way. The front captures the grille and the blocky headlights very nicely, and if we compare it with a photo of the real car, there are plenty of accurate little details. The fenders, the hood, the entire side profile, the brick-built vents in front of the rear wheels, and even the perimeter roof spoiler are all represented in a very recognizable way. The rear fenders are super wide and aggressive, exactly as they should be, and we have those vents again on the side. There are so many cool details packed into this shape, especially considering that this is still only an alternate build. Of course, there are some obvious limitations because of the available inventory. A few window elements are used, but there are still gaps, and not every surface can follow the exact angles of the real car. But overall, I think the look is really strong, and the character of the original car comes through very clearly. We also get a nice interior, and the steering wheel is functional as well. Talking about functions, the doors open, and the hood opens too, using a fairly tricky hinge solution. You can actually mimic the original forward opening motion, which is a very nice touch. Well, it opens even further than necessary, so we can also see how the angled grille section and the headlights are secured in place. I always like these moments in alternate builds, because you can really see the designer solving one limitation after another with the parts that were already in the box. The rear section opens as well, and this gives us access to the engine details. There is quite a lot going on here, and again, for an alternate build it is very impressive. One of my favorite little details is the hinge of the rear hatch. It actually moves outwards to allow a proper range of motion, and that is a really clever solution. It is one of those small mechanisms that you might not notice immediately, but once you see how it works, you really appreciate the thought that went into it. Now let's jump to the other build, the Peugeot 205 T16 Evo 2. This was one of the wildest Group B rally cars of the 1980s, using a mid-mounted turbocharged engine and all-wheel drive to deliver brutal performance in a tiny hatchback-shaped package. It became a rally icon thanks to its success in the World Rally Championship, and even today it has that unmistakable energy. The model is built in the same scale as the Renault and the original Porsche, so you can really put these icons side by side, and they work surprisingly well together. At first glance, the character is somewhat similar to the Renault. We have another compact, wide-bodied 1980s performance machine with a mid-engine layout. But when you look closer, the details and even the entire building approach are actually very different. The build sequence was completely different too, so this does not feel like a simple variation of the same idea. At the front, you can see how the brick-built grille is recreated, and the same transparent pieces are used for the headlights, but almost everything around them is built in a different way. The Peugeot has this very aggressive front end, including those little canards on the side of the bumper, and the shaping is quite accurate. This is probably the area where you need to pay the most attention, because those small details at the front are fairly easy to knock off. They look good, but they are not the strongest part of the model. The rear fenders are wider as well, although not as insanely wide as on the Renault, and the air intakes are again very nicely replicated. The angled panels at the rear are also present, and they are surprisingly sturdy, especially because the entire rear section opens up as it should. And yes, we even get a support rod, so the rear can stay open while we check all the engine and exhaust details. this whole section really captures the look of the real car. The massive rear wing is also here, sitting at the proper angle, and it gives the car that unmistakable Evo 2 silhouette. Now, yes, there are no side windows apart from the windscreen this time, and from certain angles you can see quite a lot of colorful pieces inside. But again, we need to remember that this is an alternate build from a fixed inventory, and from that perspective, I think the result is still very respectable. The Peugeot also has a working steering wheel, and we get a different seat design compared to the Renault. If we go back to the front, the hood opens as well. On the real car, this would be the place for the spare wheel. And if you want to improve the look even further, there is actually a printable sticker pack included with the instructions. I did not apply it here, but it can definitely help to bring the Peugeot even closer to the real rally car. This build is also quite sturdy overall. The only weaker section I noticed is this front part I showed you earlier, but the rest of the model feels solid. So there we have it, two high-performance icons from our childhood, both waiting for you to rebuild them from the parts of the Porsche 911. And this is a great set to own, by the way. It has been available for several years now, and even after all this time, the number of excellent alternate builds on Rebrickable is truly amazing. Honestly, if you like alternate builds, this is one of those sets where it almost makes sense to own multiple copies, because you will very quickly run into the problem of wanting to keep more than one model built at the same time. The instructions are not exactly cheap, but considering the nice build flow, the clean digital instructions, and the excellent end results, I think they are absolutely worth it. And even better, the designer was kind enough to provide a discount code for RacingBrick viewers. You can see the details on the screen, and I will also add them below in the description. So let me know, folks, what do you think about these two builds? Did you build either of them already, or maybe something else from Firas Lego cars? Let's talk about it in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe with notifications, as more exciting Lego videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.